Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet the heart bag pattern, and here are the tools and materials that you will need. So first you will need 2 balls of the Olio yarn in the main color, and we will be using that for the base and the body of the bag. And then you will need another one in the contrasting color, and we'll be using that for the edge as well as the straps. Next you will need a 3.5mm crochet hook or size 6, and then you will also need a scissor, darning needle, 2 stitch markers in 2 different colors, and also a measuring tape. We're going to start by making the base of the bag. Here I have the charted pattern of the base of the bag, and we're going to begin here in the center where we're going to make a magic ring here, and then we're going to make 6 single crochets into the ring. Okay, so to make a magic ring, first place the tail of your yarn on top of your palm like this, and then wrap them around your 2 fingers like this, making sure that this part intersects, and then turn your hand around and then place the yarn in between your pinky finger and ring finger. Now grab your crochet hook, place it underneath the first strand of yarn, and then grab onto the second strand, pull it underneath, and then make a twist. Okay, so now we're going to make the first chain stitch. So place your hook underneath the yarn right here, and then pull the yarn out through the loop that we just made. Okay, so now we have our first chain stitch where we can begin making 6 single crochets into the ring. Okay, so now hold the working yarn on your left hand, so by placing it like this and holding onto your work like this. So now we're going to make 6 single crochets into the ring. To make a single crochet, place your hook into the magic ring and then scoop the yarn out like this, so that now you have 2 loops on your hook. And then yarn over and then pull through both loops. Now we have our first single crochet. We're going to mark the first stitch with a purple stitch marker. Okay, so now we're going to make 6 more single crochet into the ring. Okay, so insert the hook into the ring, yarn over, pull the yarn out, yarn over once again, and pull through both loops. Here we have our second single crochet. So this is the first one marked with a stitch marker, and this is the second one. They're in the shape of a V. Okay, so now let's make 4 more single crochets into the ring. So insert your hook into the magic ring, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over once more, and then pull through both loops. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Now we have 4. Let's make 2 more. Okay, so now we have 6. Now let's count to make sure that we have 6 single crochets. So this one right here marked with a purple stitch marker will be our first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we have 6 single crochet. Now we're going to pull on the yarn tail to close the magic ring shut. So we're going to take this yarn out of the magic ring, hold on to the 6 single crochets that we just made, and then pull on the yarn tail. Now here's what the first round looks like after the yarn tail has been pulled out. Okay, so now we're going to make a slip stitch to finish off this round. So we're going to make a slip stitch into the stitch marked with a purple marker. So insert your hook into that stitch, like this, and then yarn over, pull the yarn out through the stitch until you have 2 loops on your hook. So when making a single crochet, you would make another yarn over and pull through both loops, but in this case we're not going to make any yarn over, and we're going to just pull the stitch out like this to close off the round. So now we have the first round complete. We're going to remove this stitch, and then we're going to mark the stitch that we just made with another stitch marker in another color. So now let's move on to the second round. So now that we're finished with first round, we're going to move on to the second round. So for the second round, we're going to make 6 increased stitches, which means that we're going to make 2 single crochets into each stitch. So insert your hook back into your work. So we're going to make 2 single crochets into each of the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We will not work into this stitch marked with the stitch marker. Okay, to start, first make a chain 1, and then make 2 single crochets here in this stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have the first single crochet complete. Now we're also going to mark the first stitch of this round with the purple marker, like this. Now we're going to need to make another single crochet into that same stitch to complete the increased stitch. Okay, so insert the hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, and then pull through 2. Now we have an increased stitch complete. We have 2 single crochets into that same stitch. So we're going to make 5 more increased stitch into the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remember not to make any stitches here in the stitch marked with the orange marker. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Now make another single crochet into that same stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, and then pull through 2. Now we have finished the second increased stitch, and you will have 4 stitches on your work. So 2 stitches from the first increase, and then another 2 stitches from the second increase. Now we're going to work the next increase into the third stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2, and then make another single crochet. Insert here, yarn over, pull it out, and then another yarn over, pull through 2. That's the third increase stitch complete. Let's make 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. Now make another one here in the same stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull it out. Now we have 2 more. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull the stitch out. Now make another single crochet into that same stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. So now onto the last increase stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. Now make another single crochet in that same stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so now we have the second round complete, and you should have 12 stitches on this round. So you can look at the stitch count here on the bottom page of the chart. So here we're on round 2, so we should have 12 stitches. So we're going to begin counting from the stitch marked with a purple marker. So this will be the first stitch, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now that we have the right number of stitch count, we're going to remove the orange marker, and then we're going to make a slip stitch into the first stitch, which is this stitch that's marked with a purple marker. So insert your hook back into your work, and then insert your hook into this stitch marked with a purple marker, like this. Now slightly tug on your working yarn, and then yarn over, pull the yarn out through the stitch like this until you have 2 loops on your hook. Now instead of making a yarn over like how you would with a single crochet, we're going to just pull this loop out through this loop. So do it like this, and now we have the second round complete. Now we can remove the purple marker, and we're going to mark this slip stitch that we've just made with an orange marker. So the stitch marked with the orange marker will be the stitch that we will not work into. So now let's move on to the third round. So for the third round, we're going to alternate between 1 single crochet and then 1 increase, and we're going to repeat that for 6 times. So 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 1 increase stitch into the second stitch, which is to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and we're going to repeat that for a total of 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So start by making a chain 1, and then we're going to make 1 single crochet into the next stitch right here. So insert your hook into the stitch, and then yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, and then pull through both loops. Now this first stitch, we're going to mark with a stitch marker. Now we need to make 2 single crochets into this next stitch. So insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Here we have our first single crochet, and we need to make 1 more. So insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, and then pull through 2. So now we have the increase stitch complete. So we have 2 single crochets here in this stitch. So you should have 3 stitches on your work by the time the first repeat is complete. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what we have here right now is this part. So we have 1 single crochet, which is this stitch marked with a purple marker, and then this increase stitch are these 2 stitches. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 stitches on your work. We're going to repeat this for another 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that means that we're going to make 1 single crochet here, 1 increase stitch here, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, and 1 increase. We're not going to work into this stitch marked with the stitch marker. Okay, so next we're going to make 1 single crochet here. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. Now make an increase stitch into the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. Make another one into the same stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, and pull through 2. So now we have our second repeat complete. You should have 6 stitches on your work once you have the second repeat complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So continue making the same repeat until you get to the end of the round. So 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase. You will end with an increase stitch right here, just right next to the stitch marked with the orange marker. Okay, so now I have all 6 repeats complete, and we're going to make sure that we have the right number of stitches. So for the third round, we should have 18 stitches on our work. So we're going to begin counting from this stitch marked with a purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so now that we have the right number of stitch count, we will remove the orange marker and we will slip stitch into this stitch marked with a purple marker. So insert your hook into this stitch, slightly tug on the working yarn, and then yarn over, pull it out, and then pull it out through the same stitch. Okay, so now we have the third round complete. We will remove the purple stitch marker and we will mark the stitch that we just made right here with the orange marker. So always mark the slip stitch of every round with a different stitch marker so that you know that this is the stitch that we will not work into. So now moving on to the fourth round. So the next round we're going to make 1 increase stitch and then 2 single crochets. We're going to repeat this for another 6 times, same as before, until we have a total of 24 stitches. So first, chain 1, and then we're going to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So this stitch right here. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out. This is the first stitch. We're going to make another single crochet into the same stitch. So insert it into the same stitch, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have our first increase stitch complete. We're going to mark this first stitch with the purple stitch marker. So this is what it looks like after the first increase stitch is complete. We're going to make 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull it out, and then 1 more single crochet into the next stitch. So now we have the first repeat complete. So 1 increase stitch, 1, 2, and then 2 single crochets, 1, 2. So this part that we just made is actually this part in the chart. So this is the increase stitch, this one, 1, 2, and then these are the 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to work that same repeat until the end of the round. So 1 increase stitch here, 2 single crochets, 1 increase stitch, 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 2 single crochets. As always, we're not going to work into this stitch marked with a stitch marker. So the next stitch, we're going to make an increase here into this stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, first single crochet, and then make another single crochet. So that's our first increase stitch for this repeat. Now make 2 more single crochets for the second repeat. So insert here, 1, 2. That's our second repeat complete. So you will have 8 stitches on your work once you have the second repeat complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to work that same repeat until we get to the end of the round. So 1 increase stitch, 2 single crochets, 1 increase stitch, 2 single crochets, 1 increase stitch, 2 single crochet, 1 increase, 2 single crochet. Okay, so now we have all 6 repeats complete, and we're going to count to make sure that we have 24 stitches on our work. So we're going to begin counting from this stitch marked with a purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so now we have the right number of stitches, and we're going to remove the orange marker, and then we're going to make a slip stitch into the stitch marked with the purple marker. So insert your hook, slightly tug on the working yarn over, pull it out, and then pull it out through that same stitch. So now we have the 4th round complete. We're going to remove the purple stitch marker, and we're going to mark the slip stitch that we just made with the orange marker. So now we're going to move on to the 5th round. So for the 5th round, we're going to make 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase stitch. We're going to repeat this for 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you should have 30 stitches on your work once that round is complete. So place the hook back into your work, and then make a chain 1. And then make 3 single crochets into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to make 2 single crochets, which is an increase stitch, onto the 4th stitch right here. Okay, so insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through. That will be our first stitch for this round. So we will mark it with the purple stitch marker. And then we're going to make 2 more single crochets into the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, then yarn over, pull through 2. That's the second single crochet. And then we're going to make 1 more single crochet here into the next stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. So here we have 3 single crochets complete. 1, 2, 3. So as you can see in the chart, we have this stitch is complete. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to need to make one increase stitch into the next stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch and make 2 single crochets into this stitch. So first single crochet and then second single crochet. You should have 5 stitches on your work once the first repeat is complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to repeat that same process until you get to the end of the round. So you're going to repeat this set until you get to the end of the round. So 3 single crochets, 1 increase, 3 single crochets, 1 increase until you get to the end of the round. So this means that we're going to make 3 single crochets, 1 increase, 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 3 single crochets, and then 1 increase right here. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then increase, and then 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then 1 increase, one single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 1 increase, one single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 1 increase, one single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then 1 increase. So now count to make sure that you have 30 stitches on your work, as you can see right here for the 5th round. So start counting from the stitch marked with a purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so remove the orange marker and then make a slip stitch into this stitch marked with a purple marker. So insert your hook, slightly tug on the working yarn, yarn over, pull it out, and then pull it out through the stitch. So now we have the 5th round complete. So remove this purple marker and then mark the slip stitch that we just made with the orange marker. So this is what it looks like at the end of the 5th round. We're going to move on to the next round. So the next one will be round number 6, and we're going to make 1 single crochet and then 1 increase stitch and then 3 single crochets. And we're going to repeat the same set for 6 times as always. And then you should have 36 stitches at the end of your round. So this means that we're going to make 1 single crochet here, 1 increase stitch here, and then 3 single crochets. Okay, so to begin, start by making a chain 1, and then we're going to make a single crochet here into the next stitch. So insert your hook here into the next stitch, yarn over, pull it out, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and now we have our first single crochet complete, and we're going to mark this with a stitch marker. So the next one, we're going to make increase stitch, which means that we're going to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So insert your hook into this stitch, so next we're going to make 1 increase stitch, which means that we're going to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So insert your hook into this stitch, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2, and then make another single crochet into the same stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. So this is what it looks like, and we're going to make 3 single crochets into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and so insert your hook into the next stitch, first single crochet, second single crochet, and then third single crochet. So you should have 6 stitches on your work once the first repeat is complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if we compare it with the chart, this single crochet here is this first stitch that is marked with a purple stitch marker, and then this stitch, the increase stitch, are these 2 single crochets that we made into that same stitch, and then 3 single crochets are these 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to repeat that same repeat for another 5 times until you get to the end of the round. So this means that we're going to make 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and then 3 single crochets. 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and then 3 single crochet. 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 3 single crochet. 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 3 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 3 single crochets. So work that same repeat until you get to the end of the round. So 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and then 3 single crochets. That's the second repeat complete, and then 1 single crochet, 1 increase stitch, and then 3 single crochets, and that's the third repeat complete, and then 1 single crochet, 1 increase stitch, and then 3 single crochets. That's the fourth repeat complete. 1 single crochet, 1 increase stitch, and then 3 single crochets. That's the fifth repeat complete. So we have 1 more repeat, 1 single crochet, 1 increase stitch, and then 3 single crochets. Okay, so now we have all 6 repeats complete. and we will count to make sure that we have 36 stitches on our work, starting from this stitch marked with a purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So now we have the right stitch count, and we will remove the orange marker and then slip stitch into the first stitch marked with the purple marker. So insert your hook here, slightly tug on the working yarn, and then yarn over, pull it out, and then pull it through the stitch. Now we have 6 rounds complete. Okay, so as always, we will mark the slip stitch that we just made with the orange marker as a reminder for us to not work into that stitch. And we're going to move on to the next round. So for the next round, we're going to make 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then end that repeat with 1 increase stitch. So we're going to repeat this set for 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you should have 42 stitches at the end of the round. So here we will start by making a chain 1. So make a chain 1, and then make 5 single crochets into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we will make an increase stitch here on the 6th stitch. So first, single crochet into the first stitch, and then mark this stitch with a stitch marker. Now we need to make 4 more single crochets. So single crochet into the next stitch for our second single crochet, and then the next stitch for our third, and then the next stitch for our fourth, and onto the next stitch for the 5th. Okay, so now we have 5 single crochets complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to make an increase stitch into this stitch, which means that we're going to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So insert your hook, 1 single crochet, and 2 single crochets. So now we have the first repeat complete, and if we compare it with the chart, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then this one, the increase stitch, will be the last 2 that we just made. So 1, 2. So we're going to repeat this for another 5 times until you get to the end of the round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, 1 increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 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 and then 1 increase. We will not work into the stitch marked with the orange marker. So insert your hook into the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then make an increase stitch for our second repeat. So 1 single crochet, make another 1 increase. Now we have the second repeat complete. So we will make 5 single crochets for our third repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 single crochets, and then end the third repeat with 1 single crochet. Okay, that's the third repeat complete. And then let's make 5 more single crochets for the fourth repeat. So 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch. Now we have the fourth repeat complete. Okay, so next repeat, 5 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch at the end of the repeat. 1, 2. Okay, so now for the sixth repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch into the last repeat. 1, 2. Okay, so that's the end of round 7, and you should have 42 stitches at the end of your work. So let's start counting from the purple, the stitch marked with a purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and then 42. So now we have the right number of stitch count. Let's make a slip stitch into the stitch with a purple marker. So insert your hook here into the first stitch. Slightly tug on the working yarn. Yarn over, pull it out, and then pull it out through that same stitch. Remove the purple marker, and then mark the slip stitch that you've just made with the orange marker. And that's the 7th round complete. So for the next round, we're going to make 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. So this means that we're going to make 2 single crochets, 1 increase stitch, and then 4 single crochets. And we're going to repeat that until we get to the end of the round. So first, put your hook back into your work. And then, as always, start every round with a chain 1. And then we're going to make 1 single crochet into the next stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's our first single crochet complete. And we will mark this stitch with a stitch marker. And then we're going to make 1 more single crochet into the next stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull it out. And after we have 2 single crochets, we will move on to the increase stitch, which is to make 2 single crochets here in this stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch and then make 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then we will move on to the next part. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to make 4 single crochets into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochets, and then 4 single crochets. Okay, so here we have the first repeat complete. So this part, the 2 single crochets here, are actually this 2 stitches, and then the increase stitch are these 2 stitches that we made into that same stitch. And then 4 single crochets are these 4 stitches that we just made. So we're going to repeat this for another 5 times until you get to the end of the round, and you should have 48 stitches on your work once the repeat is complete. So we're going to make 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. 2 single crochet, 1 increase, 4 single crochets. 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. So work that same repeat until you get to the end of the round. So 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and then 1 repeat, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. Okay, so that's the second repeat complete, and we're going to move on to the third repeat. So 2 single crochets, and then 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. And that's the third repeat complete. So on to the fourth repeat. 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. Now that's the fourth repeat complete. And then for the fifth one, 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. That's the fifth repeat complete. And on to the last repeat. So 2 single crochets, and then 1 increase, and then 4 single crochets. Okay, so now we have the 8th round complete, and we're going to count to make sure that we have 48 stitches on our work. So begin counting here from the purple marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So that's 48 stitches, and we have the right stitch count. So remove the orange marker and then make a slip stitch into the purple marker to finish off the round. So insert your hook here, slightly tug on the working yarn, and then make a slip stitch. Now we have the 8th round complete. Don't forget to mark the slip stitch that we just made with the orange marker. So now on to the next round. We will work 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we will make 1 increase stitch on the last part of the repeat. So this means that we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch here on the last part of the repeat. So let's start by making a chain 1, so chain 1, and then make 7 single crochets. So here, first into the first stitch, and then don't forget to mark the first stitch with the purple marker. And then we're going to make 6 more for a total of 7 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have 7 single crochets complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is marked here on the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to make 1 increase stitch here on the next stitch to finish off the first repeat. So make 2 single crochets here into the next stitch. 1, 2, and you should have 9 stitches on your work once the first repeat is complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stitches on your work, and we're going to work that same repeat until you get to the end of the round. So this means that you're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets, and then 1 increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets, 1 increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets, 1 increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets, 1 increase, until you have a total of 54 stitches on your work. So let's work on the second repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 increase stitch, and then onto the third repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and then 1 increase stitch here. Okay, and then for the 4th repeat, same step, 7 single crochets, that's 7 single crochets, and then 1 increase here. Okay, that's the 4th repeat complete, and then make 7 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 increase stitch. And that's the 5th repeat complete. So for the next part, the 6th repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 increase stitch into the last stitch. 1, 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and now we have the 9th round complete. So before slip stitching into the first stitch, let's count to make sure that we have 54 stitches on our work, starting from this stitch marked with a purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. And that's 54 stitches on our work. And then remove the orange marker and then slip stitch into the first stitch marked with a purple marker. Insert your hook, slightly tug on the working yarn over, and pull it out. That's round 9 complete. Okay, so now let's move on to the 10th round. So we're going to begin with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then make 1 increase stitch, and then 5 single crochets. So, oh, and don't forget to mark the slip stitch that you just made with the orange stitch marker. Okay, so this means that we're going to make 3 single crochets into the first 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase stitch, and then 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to begin by making a chain 1, and then we're going to work first the 3 single crochets. So into the first stitch, 1 single crochet, and don't forget to mark this stitch with the purple marker. Okay, so now let's make 2 more single crochets. So 1, 2. So here we have 3 single crochets complete. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 here on the chart. So next step, we're going to make 1 increase stitch into this stitch right here. So this means that we're going to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch and make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So now we have 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 1 increase stitch complete. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase stitch. Next, we're going to make 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here on our work. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets, 4 single crochets, and 5 single crochets. Okay, so that's the first repeat complete, and you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stitches on your work once the first repeat is complete. So we're going to work that same repeat for another 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 until you have 60 stitches on your work. So this means that we're going to make 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 single crochets. We're going to repeat this until you get to the end of the round right here. So 1, 2, 3, 1 increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the second repeat complete. 1, 2, 3, 1 increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the third repeat. 1, 2, 3, 1 increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the fifth repeat. 1, 2, 3, 1 increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the last repeat complete. So let's begin with the second repeat. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase, and then 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the second repeat complete. And then 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase stitch, and then 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the third repeat complete. So next, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase, and then 5 single crochets. That's another repeat complete. And then on to the next repeat. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase stitch, and then 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for the sixth repeat, we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch, and then 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And here we have the 10th round complete, and we're going to count to make sure that we have 60 stitches on our work right here. So we're going to start counting from the stitch marked with a purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So we have the right number of stitches, and we're going to remove the orange marker in between, and we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch to finish off the round. So insert your hook into this stitch, tug on the working yarn over, pull it out, and pull it out again. Now we have the 10th round complete, and we're going to mark the slip stitch that we just made with the orange marker. So now we have 2 more rounds to go for the base of the bag. So we've just finished round 10. We will move on to round 11. So for the 11th round, we will make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 single crochets, and then we will make 1 increase stitch as the last step of the repeat. So we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch into the last stitch right here. So as always, we will start by making a chain 1. So chain 1, and then we're going to make 9 single crochets. So first, 1 single crochet into the first stitch, like this, and don't forget to mark the first stitch of every round with a purple marker. And then we're going to make 8 more single crochets. So this is 1 single crochet, this is the second one, this is the third, this is the fourth, this is the fifth, and then single crochet number 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So that's 9 single crochets complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if you look at the chart, this part is the same as this part right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we have 9 single crochets, and we will make 1 increase stitch into the next stitch. So into the next stitch, let's make 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Now we have the first repeat of round 11 complete, and you should have 11 stitches on your work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to repeat that same repeat, this same repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for another 5 times until you have a total of 66 stitches. So this means that we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 single crochets, and then 1 increase into the next stitch. That's for the second repeat. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1 increase stitch for the third repeat. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1 increase stitch, and that's for the fourth repeat. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1 increase stitch for the fifth repeat. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1 increase stitch, and that's for the last repeat. So let's begin by making 9 single crochets for the second part of the repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 stitches complete, and then 1 increase stitch into the next stitch, and that's the second repeat complete. And then let's make 9 single crochets again for the third repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch for the last step of the repeat. Now we have 3 repeats complete, and then onto the fourth repeat. Let's make 9 single crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch, and that's the end of the fourth repeat. Now on to the fifth one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch into the next stitch, and that's the fifth repeat complete. And for the last one, let's make another round of 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 single crochets, and then we have 1 stitch left, and that's for our increase stitch. So make 2 single crochets here into the last stitch, and now we have the 11th round complete, and we should have 66 stitches at the end of round 11. So let's start counting from this stitch marked with the purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Okay, so now we have the right number of stitch count. We will remove this stitch marker and we will slip stitch into the first stitch marked with a purple marker. So insert your hook here, slightly tug, yarn over, pull it out, and then pull it out through the same stitch. Now we can remove the purple marker, and don't forget to mark the slip stitch that we just made with the orange marker, like this. So here we have 11 rounds complete, and we will move on to round number 12, which is the last round of the base for the bag. So we will make 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 increase stitch, and then 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this means that we're going to make, so first 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 increase stitch. So here into the 5th one, we're going to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. So let's start by making a chain 1, and then we're going to make 4 single crochets into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, this is the first single crochet that we will mark with the purple marker. And then we're going to make 3 more single crochets. So here's the second one, and then here's our third, and then that's our fourth. So now we have 4 single crochets on our work, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we look at the chart, here are the 4 stitches that we just made. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so next we're going to make 1 increase stitch into the next stitch right here, where we're going to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch, and then make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Here we have 4 single crochets and 1 increase stitch complete. So 4 single crochets and then 1 increase stitch complete. We're going to make 6 single crochets into the next 6 stitches to finish off the first part of the repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. And we're going to make 6 single crochets into the next 6 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And here we have the first repeat complete. We have this repeat complete right here, and you should have 12 stitches on your work once the first repeat is complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're going to repeat that same step. We're going to repeat this same repeat for another 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until you get to the end of the round right here. So this means that we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 single crochets, 1 increase, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets. And that's for the second repeat. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 increase stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's for the third repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the fourth repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's for the fifth repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's for the last repeat. And you should have 72 stitches at the end of the round. So first, let's begin with 4 single crochets for our second repeat. So 4 single crochets. It's 2, 3, and 4. 4 single crochets, and then we're going to make 1 increase stitch into the next stitch. Okay, and then we're going to make 6 single crochets into the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have the second repeat complete, and we're going to move on to the third repeat. So let's make 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 single crochets, and then 1 increase stitch into the next. So 1, 2. That's an increase stitch complete, and we're going to make 6 single crochets into the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the third repeat complete. Now on to the fourth repeat. So 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 increase stitch. 1, 2, and then 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's the fourth repeat complete. On to the fifth repeat. Let's make 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's make 1 increase stitch into the next stitch. 1, 2, and then let's make 6 single crochets to finish off the fifth repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the end of the 5th repeat. Now on to the last repeat of the round. So 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 increase stitch into the next stitch, 1, 2, and then 6 single crochets into the last 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now we have all 6 repeats complete, and let's count to make sure that we have 72 stitches on our work. So we will begin counting from the stitch marked with a purple marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. And we have the right number of stitch count. Now let's remove the orange marker and then slip stitch into the first stitch to finish off the 12th round. So insert your hook here into this stitch marked with a purple marker. Again, slightly tug on your working yarn, yarn over, and then pull it out. Now you can remove the purple marker, and let's mark the first stitch. Let's mark the slip stitch with the orange marker. Now we have 12 rounds complete for the base of the bag. So next step, we're going to move on to round number 13, where we're going to work on the heart patterns right here for the body of the bag, and we're going to work that same pattern until we reach round number 29.